Donald Trump was having a meltdown at midnight as he fears for his life that Iran wants to kill him and kill his family in Tehran. Billboards have been going up across the city with signs like this. It says, "Hey terrorists, get ready to die." And it's photos of Melania, Ivanka, Donald Trump, Jared Kushner, Barron, and others. There are billboards like this with a MAGA hat and blood splattered everywhere. "Hey terrorists, get ready to die." Then there's billboards like this of Donald Trump drowning in a sea of blood that appears to be choking him. "You will drown in the sea of blood." Donald Trump's hands, meanwhile, all day yesterday, his body continuing to rot in front of our faces. So what was Donald Trump doing at midnight last night? He was posting videos of Trump coins. He was posting the word draconian. He was posting a random repost of someone named Uncle Barney 1966, who says the SAVE Act is very straightforward. Before then, earlier, he was posting and then reposted that he basically wants to be applauded because there have been 18 people killed in Iran in 4 months, which is less than the Afghanistan war, which was 20 years and 2,000 dead. Donald Trump wants applause for that. And of course, we know that Donald Trump is certainly undercounting or underreporting the casualty amounts that have taken place in this catastrophic war in Iran, right? The Trump regime is saying, a lot of these injuries are very minor. They go minor concussions. There's no such thing as a minor concussion when your base, when your containerized barrack gets hit by a ballistic missile. Our service members have what's called a traumatic brain injury. That's not a minor concussion, but that's what the Trump regime is saying. How utterly disrespectful, how utterly just horrific that is to treat our troops that way. And that's why we're actually seeing our service members in the region sending in photos, leaking photos of how precise Iran has been able to strike these barracks in these United States bases in the Arab nations. Iran's been able to strike radar systems, early warning detection systems, other defense systems, the U.S. running out of munitions. But Donald Trump is posting photos of himself at the FIFA World Cup with him and Gianni Infantino, and he wants Gianni Infantino to now lead the United Nations, is one of the stories that came out. And so again, Trump making the FIFA World Cup about himself when nobody wanted him to be anywhere near him. Did you see this photo of the Spanish goalkeeper basically ignoring Donald Trump on the stage and then giving a big hug to Prime Minister Carney? But Donald Trump posting images and messages while we're in this catastrophic war, while the American people are suffering, why permanent daylight savings time may be better for your health. Or Donald Trump posting AI images which purport to be Iranian women holding AI signs that say, "Stop killing us," with AI tears. Perhaps what that's actually referring to is Donald Trump killing Iranian girls in Manab and killing Iranian civilians as well, because the United States under the Trump regime has engaged in many war crimes there. Also, as Donald Trump panics and fears for his life, and as he fears that Iran's threatening to kill him, Barron, Melania, Ivanka, and others, and as Iran's working with the Houthis in Yemen, have been able to pretty much effectively shut down the Bab el-Mandab Strait, basically having a blockade at the Bab el-Mandab Strait as it relates to Saudi tankers. Donald Trump promised MBS, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, all of these things in exchange for MBS giving Donald Trump and Donald Trump's companies a lot of money. There was a quid pro quo, in my opinion, that obviously took place between MBS, the Crown Prince, and Donald Trump. And Donald Trump's security umbrella simply failed. Utter failure, utter fraud in the Middle East. So what's Donald Trump doing right now for Saudi Arabia? Well, not sure you heard this yet, but Donald Trump has now formally and officially approved on his own, I guess, a landmark agreement with Saudi Arabia that will provide Saudi Arabia with a civilian nuclear program and potentially open the door for Saudi Arabia to engage in uranium enrichment, which many people and experts say Saudi Arabia will be able to fairly quickly, if they want to, turn into weapons grade. So I'm just trying to get this straight right now. MBS gives Donald Trump a lot of money, gives Donald Trump a lot of business, gives Donald Trump a lot of personal pecuniary gain, Trump hotels, all of these things. Donald Trump's security umbrella fails in the Middle East. Iran is able to shut down the Bab el-Mandab Strait with the Houthis, that is, the Houthis in Yemen. Saudi Arabia is now reeling and struggling right now. So Donald Trump then says, we're going to give you, Saudi Arabia, the ability to have to do a nuclear deal with us and nuclear proliferation in Saudi Arabia. When, mostly all of the hijackers in 9/11 came from Saudi Arabia. I mean, do you remember, though, what Donald Trump said when they were doing the LIV, which was the Saudi golf tournament at the Trump clubs? Remember what Donald Trump used to say? Nobody's ever got to the bottom of 9/11. Nobody knows who actually did it. Donald Trump spreading 9/11 conspiracies to protect his Saudi friends consistently is what he did. And now they get the reward right after killing American journalists, after having a lot of the hijackers in 9/11. They get nuclear weapons because we have a weak, fragile psycho in the White House who cares about himself and throws us all under the bus. Here's what Donald Trump said, just so you know, at his golf course. Here, play this clip.
You're so closely associated with the city of New York. Yeah. You, of all people, understand the passion surrounding 9/11. What do you say to those family members who protested earlier this week and will be doing so again on Friday?
Well, nobody's gotten to the bottom of 9/11, unfortunately, and they should have, as to the maniacs that did that horrible thing to our city, to our country, to the world. So nobody's really been there, but I can tell you that there are a lot of really great people that are out here today, and we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to celebrate, and money's going to charity. A lot of money's going to charity. And you have really the best players in the world, many of the best players in the world, and soon you'll probably have all of them.
That's what Donald Trump had previously said. Also, yesterday, Donald Trump said that a little thing slipped through into Jordan and a little thing happened to our troops. That's how Donald Trump describes the fact that America's PAC-3, the Patriot Interceptors or THAADs, not working effectively. Donald Trump slipped through. He goes, it wouldn't have happened if the people who were working the systems knew what they were doing. Just think about, from the Jordanian leadership perspective, the humiliation ritual Trump puts them through as well. And now saying that they don't know how to use the Patriot. Not only does Donald Trump not give them the munitions needed, but then says they operated it incorrectly. Play this clip.
As far as Iran is concerned, I'll let Pete maybe say a couple of words, but we are doing very well. We are degrading them at levels that nobody thought was possible. They're being degraded really so seriously. They did slip something through in Jordan, and if we had other operators, would not happened, unfortunately. But because we have the best equipment in the world, we've stopped almost everything. But when you let other people do your job, with the United States, we let other people do the job, and sometimes it doesn't work out so well. But we're going to be going and paying our respects at Dover. Pete, would you like to say just how we're doing?
Now, Iran is pursuing a pretty clear-cut strategy right here as well. As the U.S. escalates, we talked about the strikes yesterday, the U.S. also hitting an area right near the Parchin nuclear site in Tehran. The U.S. has been hitting, all these areas, Bandar Abbas. The U.S. has been hitting, the whole kind of coast right by the Strait of Hormuz. But yesterday, U.S. struck hard in Tehran and then hit this place in eastern Tehran or east of Tehran where there is like a nuclear site, nuclear research center in Parchin. U.S. hit there. And Iran has a very obvious strategy right now. You don't have to be that much of a military expert to see what they're doing. They are striking the various military bases of the Arab nations. They've yet to strike Israel because they believe that the U.S. has worked with Israel to protect it the most with the Iron Dome, but that these Arab nations all have early radar detection systems in order basically to protect Israel, which is behind. You have the Iron Dome of Israel, but then you have the Arab Dome, which Iran is exposing. Look at all of this apparatus, which was basically created to protect Israel. And so Iran is striking the early detection, the radar systems, and other technology that the U.S. has in these Arab nations. And Iran's been able to precisely strike this. And then, at this point, if Iran wants to escalate more, it will be able to escalate, I think fairly easily. So what do you have? Marco Rubio is at the ASEAN conference, the Asian, South Asian conference. And Rubio is out there saying, look, we're always down for diplomacy. It's Iran doesn't want to do the diplomacy, but we're always up for it in case anybody's ready, willing, and able. But America stands ready for diplomacy. Really? Donald Trump, the guy who talks about blowing up all of the bridges, destroying the civilization. And then when he's cornered like the rat that he is, then he says, oh, we want to do a deal. They're doing a deal, everybody. I mean, by the way, one of the reasons that Rubio is saying this is that these Arab nations in the Middle East are absolutely livid, and that they're like to the United States, you screwed us over. You're screwing over our economy. You don't know what the hell are you even doing right now? And that's why Donald Trump's like, okay, Saudi Arabia, we'll give you nukes. We'll allow you to enrich. We'll do a nuclear deal with you. Well, who gave this guy the freaking power to give Saudi Arabia nukes? What the hell is even going? That's where we are right now. I mean, but Qatar is pissed, UAE is pissed, all of these countries are pissed, and Iran is making a direct message, by the way, to these Arab nations saying, your kingdoms, your princes, your kings, your leaders, over here, they are selling you out for Trump and for Netanyahu. That's the pitch that Iran's making to them. Anyway, here's what Rubio had to say for yourself. Let's play it.
I want to reiterate once again, the United States is always committed to diplomacy. We are open-minded and always willing to engage in negotiated settlements of differences. And that remains true in the case of Iran. Unfortunately, as of now, despite their direct outreaches, and Iran has been reaching out to the United States, both directly and indirectly, to engage in talks about settling the differences with regards to what's happening in that part of the world. Unfortunately, so far, even though we have reached agreements, they have not kept their commitments. And as the president stated earlier today, I guess, today Washington time, yesterday our time here now, the problem we're having right now is that they're not serious about talks. If they're serious, we're serious. If they're not, then we will do what is necessary to protect our interest and also the interest of our allies.
Well, we'll keep you posted every step of the way, but that's what's going on there. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. And thanks for watching, everybody. Oh, check out WTF America, the new book. Pre-order it right now. We appreciate you so much.
Hey, if you want the full story, how democracy got here and how we take it back, pre-order our new book, WTF America, today. Just scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Let's do this.